for your Villages Buffalo. A goalkeeper, number 1, Paulo Vita. Number 3, defense, Iago Lopez. Number 28, defense, Kawe Cavallo. Number 6, midfielder, Antonio Frias. Number 21, midfielder, Archie Manson. 7, midfielder, William Data. Number 15, midfielder, Pedro Diaz. Number 14, midfielder, Augusto Maciel. Number 19, forward, Carlos Araujo. Number 10, midfielder, Carlos Victor. And number 11, midfielder, Paulo Vaz. Your head coaches for the teams for the Surf, Peter Fuller and Trevor Adair. For your Villages Buffalo, Anderson Da Silva, Sergio Santos, Jim Flores, and Gabriel Zapoli. And now, if everyone will please rise as the Sumter County Sheriff's Color Guard present our flag. Please take your hats off for the national anthem. Buffalo, make some noise!
As both coaches shake hands, get ready for this matchup between the Villages SC and South Florida Surf, their second meeting of the season. The first affair went the way of the Surf, 1-0. The Villages SC Buffalo look to reverse the result here in this home game, their second home game.
Buffalo in the stands.
After their win over the Palm Beach Suns
Enthusiasm for these guys on the field.
on Saturday. We come back on Wednesday of this week and another home game on Saturday. So a 3-game homestand in the course of a week
Tonight we want to
for the
rise
Villages
for
SC.
3 points.
Right now the Villages at 2-1 during the season, sitting on 6 points in 4th place, trailing South Florida, who sits at 8 points right now. But South Florida with 2 more games played than the Villages. A win here for the Villages would be a huge result. 3 points would catapult the Buffaloes ahead of the Surf with 2 games in hand. But first things first, 90 minutes to divvy up the 3 points available in tonight's matchup between the Buffaloes and the Surf. Kickoff now, we are underway. And the Surf will possess first, going left to right. Early foul called against South Florida.
Foul called on the Surf. Free kick Buffalo.
Lopez wants to go long for Maciel. His first action. Out. Carvalho. Gias taken down there by Trey Collins. Middle of the field. That's a second quick foul on South Florida. Gias will restart quickly. That ball switched to nobody in particular. And it goes out of play for a throw.
Throw in South Florida Surf. Near side.
Mickey Watson. Turned over there. Carlos Jr. Excuse me. Yes, correct. Carlos Jr. with the shot on goal. Andres Ruiz equal to the task. They've injured himself. Is grabbing his hip. Trying to get rid of the ball here. Making an outstretched save to keep that ball out of the back of the net, but damage could be done. Certainly not the opening to a match that you'd like, having your goalkeeper go down this early in the game. Andres Ruiz, originally of Colombia, Dominican University. Ben Martinez. Warming up on the sideline. Looks like he may be called into action here.
I like it, thank you.
Andres Ruiz looks like he's going to try to shake this thing off as Ben Martinez, the backup goalkeeper for South Florida Surf, continues to loosen up. Certainly keep our eye on Ruiz, and if the Villages decide to start trying to test him from distance now, as he is certainly not looking at 100% at this moment. And Ruiz looks to play long, can't even get that ball elevated, so an issue right away. Gias. Maciel tries to play on to Carlos Vitor. Well cut in there. The ball clatters out. Off of, I believe, Palavas. Throw in for the Surf. Jorge Guinevar will take the throw. Oh, outside of the right foot. Long ball in. Paulo Pizza asking for it.
Paulo Pita with the scoop in the air.
Reaches up and just takes it, and then wants to play long. Voss available. Headed away by Arthur
Throw in Buffalo on the near
Bartola. Rodriguez, Vitor, Vaz. Back to Rodriguez now here on the left flank. Whipped into the center. Headed on. Maciel can't get enough on it. Ruiz still a little bit gimpy. Pedro Gias wins that ball. Cuts back inside. Now Carlos Vitor clipped in the back of the leg. Ball still alive. Carlos Vitor wins it. Now a bit of a scramble. Now ball pops open here. Paulo Vaz taken down, but the offsides flag was up. After the deflection, he was a step in front of the last defender. Correct call there. Callum Carsley looks to play forward to Coutinho. Gias wins that away. Now Vaz touches the inside. Ridden off that ball by Bartola. Collins. Coutinho. Good strike. Cavalcanti with the shot on goal. Guinevard gets a touch on there. Pereira flicks on. Ball bouncing around. Guinevard. Surf unable to keep it, and that ball goes out of play for a Villages SC throw. Antonio Rodriguez with the throw. Finds the head of Carlos Jr. Cavalcanti. Now that ball flicked forward. Carvalho. And now South Florida enjoying possession right now. Long switch there. Callum Carsley. Ball given away now. Carlos Jr. He's got Carlos Vitor to his right. Carlos Jr. decides to go alone. He's cut out by both center backs. And in the end, no real danger there. Cavalcanti once again with a lovely switch of the ball. Now that ball turned over. Masson. That ball rolled across the front of the goal, and that's going to be a goal. Goal by number 25. Ethan Decker. That, though, started with the long switch by Cavalcanti. South Florida Surf jump out to a 1-0 lead over your Villages SC Buffaloes. Long switch by Cavalcanti to Coutinho. Looks like Andre Weiss is going to come off the field, and Ben Martinez now checking in. For South Florida. Andre Weiss, who made a great save early in the game, but injured himself in doing so, tried to tough it out. He leaves the field, though, with his South Florida Surf squad staked to a 1-goal lead. Substitution of the goalkeeper causing a delay here in restarting this game after the South Florida Surf goal. I believe that goal credited to Ethan Decker, just on the doorstep there. Play back underway now. Cavalcanti finds Decker out wide to right here on the flank, down towards the corner flag. He's got Carvalho in front of him, beats him just for a moment. Cavalcanti. Guzman had it deflected away for just a moment. Callum Carsley. Down Lucas Coutinho. Coutinho cuts into the end line. Tries to cut back, and that ball comes off of Archie Masson. It will be a South Florida Surf corner. Coutinho will stay over it and handle that work. Callum Carsley being warned by the center official for some extracurricular activity inside the box. That ball played in. Good ball. Paulo Pizza gets a fist to it. Carlos Vitor out on the right wing. Excuse me, the left wing. Vitor cuts in now on his right foot. He's got a little bit of space. We'll take some more. Into Carlos Jr. Carlos Jr. outside to Maciel. Maciel outside the box. Wide of the goal all the while. Trying to test Ben Martinez, who just checked into the goal. I can assure you, as a backup goalkeeper, you don't ever expect to see the field within the first 10 minutes of a game. But that's the position that Martinez and the South Florida Surf find themselves in after Andre Weiss made a great save going to his left, but injured himself in doing so. And after the goal by South Florida, the coaching staff, Coach Peter Fuller and company, decide to go ahead and switch goalkeepers. Cavalcanti to Mickey Watson. Watson tries to play Carsley through. Coutinho does the hard work, comes back to win it, but turns it back over to Maciel. Maciel to the middle. Carlos Jr. holds up play, but he's dispossessed. Bartola making a marauding run forward, but his pass not good enough. And Paulo Pizza looked to restart quickly and instead splits Pereira and Rodriguez, and it goes out of play for a South Florida throw. Guinevere will take it into right. Carlos Jr. and Bartola. A couple large human beings battling for the ball. Bartola gets the better of it in this instance. Cavalcanti, who's been quite active been influential in this game here early on in the first half. Right. Decker. Ball on Decker's right foot. He looks for a long switch. He's got Collins. Collins with nifty turn. Nignevart falls to Collins. That ball cut away now by the Villages. Carlos Vitor tries the cheeky little flick, but instead it goes out of play. After all the success that the Villages SC have had over the last few weeks, after that goal goes in, looks a little bit out of sorts, looks to sort of regain their composure here. Coach Anderson da Silva will try to get them back to playing the kind of soccer we've become accustomed to. But another turnover there. Now Wright. Again, it falls to Wright. Cuts back onto his left. He gets the ball underneath him. That ball almost dangerous, falling for Decker right there in the box. Another couple of moments of trepidation for the Villages SC. Carvalho able to get the ball cleared, and it takes a deflection, goes out. Play for a throw for the Buffalo. Carlos Jr. able to collect it in the turn there. Bartola. A little too much hands there. Carlos Vitor. Paulo Vaz. Archie Masson had made a pretty strong run forward, but wasn't spotted by Vaz. Carlos Vitor almost wins that ball away. Guinevard. Iago Lopez. Maciel. Masson. Oh, that ball inside, cut out. Almost one away. Good work by Lopez to get it back. Carlos Vitor. Now he turns it over. Cavalcanti again. Out wide to Decker. Decker swung in. Great ball to the back post. Right with the left foot. That ball off the crossbar. Not exactly sure who that goal will be credited to. Wasn't sure if Wright's shot off the crossbar had bounced beyond the line. If not, Trey Collins cleaned up the mess for the second South Florida Surf goal. Your score now 2-0 for South Florida on the road here at the Villages SC. Ben Martinez collects. Bartola. Over to Watson. Ethan Decker holds it up. Cavalcanti to Bartola. Goes long. Paolo Pizza, the only one in that area code. He'll save it from going out of play. Lopez back. Pizza. Carlos Vitor tries the back heel. Just finds the chest of Cavalcanti, who now gets it and turns onto his right foot. Guinevard all the way back to Martinez. Right now with a 2-0 lead, possession will be the best friend of South Florida. And as I say that, they'll play it 60 yards forward. Hoping hoping for the run of Jason Wright, but instead, that ball played out of bounds by Cowboy Carvalho.
South Florida serve throw in.
Jorge Guinevart with the throw out here on the right wing. He's got some help forward there. Trey Collins was in an offside position as that ball was played to him. Pita. That ball goes out of play. Rodriguez's header. Back to Jason Wright. That ball switched. Masson gets a piece of it. Now that ball out wide to Masson. Masson's got a little space in front of him. Carsley, chases him down. That ball whipped in. Carlos Vitor uses his speed. He and Guinevart now locked in. That ball only out to Pedro Gias. Found himself in the spot where his magic happened this past weekend, but unable to replicate the feat. Now Carvalho with the long switch. Maciel collects it, lays off to Gias. Turns, looks to regroup. Paulo Vaz tries to flick through to Maciel, but it's cut out. And now South Florida look to get out. Masson keeps it in though. Maciel tries to play into Carlos Jr. That middle quite crowded. Guinevart up forward to Jason Wright. Tries to just shield off Cowboy Carvalho, but not well enough. Now that ball banged forward once again. Two South Florida Surf defenders back there. Enough to handle Paulo Vaz on his own. Guinevart fouled. Paulo Vaz being warned by the official, another foul out of him, and it'll probably result in a yellow card. 2-0 the score line right now in favor of the visitors, the South Florida Surf. That ball too long. First real mistake we've seen out of Cavalcanti today. He was influential early in this game and certainly a big piece of the first goal. That ball falls. Ethan Decker, that ball through. Oh, great save by Paulo Pita. As Trey Collins was looking for his second goal of the day. Strong hand of Paulo Pita keeping that out of the goal. Crowd trying to incite their team. Left-footed in-swinger coming here for South Florida. That ball struck. Paulo Pita there. Coutinho was in the vicinity, but you had Carsley, who's a much taller player, playing the ball in, and Coutinho trying to win it in the air. You'd probably like those roles reversed if you're Peter Phillip. Ball flicked on. Carlos Jr. to Carlos Vitor. Now Carlos Vitor in the box. He's got quick feet. Chip to the back post. Carlos Jr. is there. That ball's headed. That was Mickey Watson on the back post there. Carlos Jr. whistled for the foul. But at least a dangerous moment for the Villages SC. Watson a little bit slow to get up. He does, and Ben Watson Just joining us, the backup goalkeeper who's called into action after Andres Ruiz made a great diving save to his left-hand side, but injured himself while doing it. Had to be pulled off after the first South Florida goal. They've doubled their lead since then. It's a 2-0 2-0 lead. That ball turned over. Coutinho now onto his left foot. In the box, struck, but never on frame. But again, a turnover in their defensive third, causing problems for the Villages SC. Led to the first goal. And almost led to the third one there. Paulo Pizza just made a great save just moments ago to keep the score line as it is at 2. Plays a goal kick forward. Carlos Jr. looks to win that. Guinevart gets his head to it though. Heads it out of play for a throw-in. William Pereira, that's his first touch in a while. Somebody who tends to normally get a lot of touches for this Villages team. Hasn't seen much of the ball. Trey Collins not shut down at all until he decides to take a shot, and Coway Carvalho finally comes out, gets enough of it to make it easy work for Paulo Pizza. See if the Villages can enjoy some possession here, and as I say that, Iago Lopez almost plays that ball out of bounds. Now Rodriguez plays a dangerous ball back to the middle. Just a tad bit out of sync, really, especially in the back third. Guinevart. Coutinho flicked back on to Guinevart. Good ball by him. Now back in the middle, Coutinho. Coutinho outside the box, cuts in, off the left foot. Now Jason Wright all by his lonesome on the right foot. Probably a tad bit too casual with that strike, but he had so much time. Who could blame him? Long ball by Pizza. Almost finds his intended target in Carlos Vitor. Carlos Jr. offers the pressure. Carlos Vitor. He gets fouled by Trey Collins.
Foul on the serve. Free kick, Buffalo.
Pereira. Carvalho. Masson in on his left foot. Now finds Pereira. He's got a little bit of space. He's got some room. Instead opts for the shot from 35 yards out. Ben Martinez with the punt, goes out of play. Antonio Rodriguez watches it go, and he'll take the throw from there. Carlos Jr. wins that. Flicked on to Paulo Vaz. Over the top now. Archie Masson decides to go backwards with it. Iago Lopez will take it. Carlos Vitor wants to turn. Guzman won't let him do it. In the end, Vitor has his way, but is forced to go backwards. Maciel can't get to it. Mickey Watson wins it for a moment, but that ball now taken away. Paulo Vaz. Oh. I think it was fairly evident, but the referee didn't agree. Meanwhile, Coutinho marauds into the box now. Just outside the box, he's got two defenders in front of him. Carvalho comes over with an authoritative tackle. The ball goes out of play for a corner kick. Dangerous scoring opportunity once again for South Florida. up 2-0 already here in the first half on the road against the Villages SC. Certainly doable. You give up that third goal in the first half, that mountain seems almost insurmountable. Villages will have to do well here to keep them out. That ball headed away authoritatively. Voss wins it just for a moment though. Ginevart all the way back to Cavalcanti. Plays out wide. Back into Cavalcanti. Collins. Pedro Gias. Carlos Vitor to Junior. Gias, who was waiting on it. But Jason Wright came back. Or excuse me. I believe that was now Guzman. Pereira to the middle. Pedro Gias. Now Iago Lopez. Stefan Maciel in the middle. He's forced. Play Pereira. Antonio Rodriguez. Ball down into the corner for Carlos Jr. He and Abraham Bartoa. Those guys have been physical with each other all day long, and it'll continue as both of them stay in. That ball headed into some space now. Gias just outside the box, stutter steps, finds Paulo Voss. Paulo Voss tries to cut back on the right foot. Mickey Watson, ball looked like it may have come off his hand. Referee rules that it didn't impact play and was inadvertent. Paulo Voss was asking for a handball there, but Paulo Voss had an opportunity to get at least a shot on frame, but he opted to lay the ball back. Maciel forced backwards by Mickey Watson. Now Lopez. Scott Masson out wide. Can't get the ball to him. Carsley wins that ball out of the air. Jason Wright comes back. Jason Wright strong on the ball. Takes on one, takes on two, keeps the ball, keeps possession. Ethan Decker with the long switch. Ginevart passes on the option to Coutinho. Now gets it to him. Coutinho. Ethan Decker on it now. Oh, outside of the right foot. Great ball. Oh. We'll have to give the assistant referee the benefit of the doubt there. His angle better than mine, but must have been close at the very least. But great ball served up. The outside of the right boot. You start playing balls like that in, you can tell that's a confident side. And certainly a team that's playing with a 2-0 lead at this point. Unafraid to try some training ground type stuff. Now Pereira. Carlos Jr. unable to keep it. Bartoa. Coutinho, well-weighted ball to Collins. Now that ball inside for Jason Wright. It gets put in the air, and then Paulo Pita comes and claims it. Now tries to restart quickly here. Rodriguez. Carlos Vitor with the turn. Quick feet there by Vitor. Carlos Jr. lays off. Pereira looks for the long switch. Paulo Voss out wide. Carsley's there. Paulo Voss, great trap. And that's a foul there going to goal. That has to be at least a yellow card. And there is the yellow card for Callum Carsley. Great trap, first touch off the chest by Paulo Voss to put himself in on goal, forcing the foul by Callum Carsley. And now an opportunity. It's Pereira imploring his teammates to get inside the box as he wants to whip it in just to the 6-yard box. Bartoa gets his head to it, gets it out of danger just for the moment. Rodriguez, Carlos Vitor got one man in front of him. Little quick step off the left foot to the back post. Paulo Vaz not there. Gias tries the dipping volley from outside the box, but gets a little too far underneath it, and it's never on frame. Ben Martinez now. After the first real series of danger inside that box for a while, gets the goal kick up. The wind looks like it holds it up. Now flicked on. Trey Collins trying to win that ball. It does fall to Collins. Now to Jason Wright. Right out wide. Lucas Coutinho. Cavalcanti, good turn there at right foot. Finds Collins. Now Coutinho. Ball looked to be crossed in, but Antonio Rodriguez able to get that ball clear. Now Coutinho. Cavalcanti. Trey Collins. His attempted cross. Never good enough. Instead goes out of play for a goal kick. Archie Masson tries to find Maciel, who comes back to receive it, gets it, cuts it back in now. Pedro Gias getting pressure. Comes wide here to the near side. Antonio Rodriguez. That ball looked to be crossed, but it took a deflection. It's Cavalcanti. Has been quite influential on the offensive end. Gives some defensive effort there and keeps a dangerous ball from being played into the box. Ben Martinez now just goes ahead and plays long, looking for Jason Wright. Pedro Gias now lays back to Iago Lopez. Lopez back onto Gias. Gias will turn and look to get it started into Maciel. Well done holding up Mickey Watson there. Good ball there. One touch over the top. Maciel coming onto it. He's got Carlos Vitor to his left. He's got Gias to his right. Right-footed strike from distance. Augusto Maciel into the waiting hands there of Ben Martinez, who bobbled it for just a second. Ball outside the box. Antonio Rodriguez gets ahead on it. He might have been out of play already, but the assistant referee rules he was in play as he headed that ball, so it will be a throw-in for the Surf. That one there only as far as Cavalcanti, who looks for the long switch. It sneaks through Paulo Vaz to Carsley. Oh. Coutinho, again, Coutinho cuts in on his left. That ball, I don't think he hit it well enough anyhow, but credit to William Pereira for getting back and being able to usher that ball into the hands of Paulo Pita. Carlos Vitor into Junior, who lays back. Pereira looks to play into Carlos Vitor, but instead it goes out of play for a throw. Now back to Pereira. He's got Vitor, who leaves it for Carlos Vitor. Looks to lay it in. Gets it to Carlos Jr. Great battle there inside, as it's been all day long. Except for that time, Bartoa took a break and let Mickey Watson get a piece of that action. Couple of strong center backs there for South Florida, making Carlos Jr. and Gusto Maciel work for every possession in and around that box. Pedro Gias and William Pereira over this free kick from a dangerous spot here. Ben Martinez ushering his wall into the position he wants. Pereira with the left foot is going to step over. Gias, the right foot, never gets through the wall. It's being clattered around inside the box. That ball headed on Carlos Vitor, who was onside. Never gets enough on it, and it was always at the goalkeeper. Now Coutinho. It's a little bit fortunate with that bounce to keep it, but he does. Guinevart now into Coutinho. Coutinho, a couple players in front of him. Ethan Decker. Paulo Pizza asking some of his defenders to at least close him down, as Ethan Decker had a free shot on goal. Really, if he wanted a little bit more space, could have taken it. Paulo Pizza with the goal kick. He'll just play long. Guinevart gets it. Well, won by Pereira there off the deck. Oh, that ball falls to Jason Wright. Jason Wright's got some friends. Jason Wright decides to go it alone, then into the box. Coutinho with the outside of the right foot, and Pita could do nothing but watch it just barely scrape over the crossbar. Archie Masson's got a load of space in front of him. He'll slowly bring it up. Play backward to Pedro Gias, who'll look for the long switch. Carlos Vitor can't get to it. The wind helped that out of play. Cavalcanti, again, some effort defensively, may turn into some offensive help as well, as that ball falls to Jason Wright. Paulo Pita spills it just outside the box. Trey Collins was denied, but now it falls to Lucas Coutinho. It's still on his right foot, and Lucas Coutinho's shot goes wide. The errors in the defensive third for the Villages SC have really been the bugaboo. And now on this side of the pitch, a goalkeeper who had to make a play is slow to get up, and maybe worse for wear. Seth Perez, the backup goalkeeper for the Villages SC, is he'll start to get warmed up. Paulo Pizza, I believe, holding his shoulder. If you're just joining us on the other side of the pitch, Ben Martinez in goal, only because the original starter, Andres Ruiz, injured himself while making a save. Pizza back up, still holding that shoulder though. So we're just moments away from the added time. It might be one of these these situations where you see if you can make it to halftime and then see how you feel coming out for the second half. Maybe you can get some treatment during the halftime speech by Coach Anderson da Silva. Make no mistake about it, there'll be a speech. Down 2-0 at this point, but not out of it. 2 goals not out of the realm of possibility in any half of soccer. You'd like to be able to go the second half with your starting goalkeeper and emotional leader in Paulo Pizza. Pizza stays in. He'll just play short to William Pereira. Paulo Vaz comes back for it. Plays out wide to Archie Masson. Masson decides to come inside, then lay backwards to Iago Lopez. Pereira comes back for it. Now Carlos Vitor wants to create a little space for himself. Trey Collins offering some resistance there. It comes all the way back to Pereira, who now plays out wide to Masson. Masson looks to whip it in, gets to the back post, but over just about everybody. Again, the wind coming from that direction, so balls from that area have seemed to look a tad bit overweighted, but it's a heavy breeze moving directly at us and away from that far side of the pitch. That's the second one we've seen like that that looked a little too heavy, but the wind certainly contributing to that. As we're in added time now in this first half. And Martinez gets his foot into it. Should be a decent amount of added time, as we have had a couple of different injuries to both goalkeepers. Also had a goalkeeper substitution after the first goal, which took a little time. Maciel able to win that. Now get it to Carlos Vitor. Overlap run there by Antonio Rodriguez, but Carlos Vitor. Cavalcanti wins that ball, but may have gotten a little too much body there. Helps Carlos Vitor to his feet, as to say, you and I both know I got a lot of ball there. Antonio Rodriguez with his left foot. Ball should bend away from the goalkeeper just outside the 6-yard box. Rodriguez, that ball bends and right at the 6-yard box. And so it's an easy take for Ben Rodriguez, the backup goalkeeper, or at least for this game. Started on the bench and then was called into action early as Andres Ruiz was injured. Ball played forward to Jason Wright. Carvalho bangs it off of his chest, and South Florida keeps possession. Ethan Decker, Cavalcanti, Guzman. And those 3 whistles call to an end the first half, in which on the scoreboard was all South Florida Surf. The Villages SC have a few minutes at halftime to collect their thoughts and regain their composure and get back out here for the second half, looking to find 2 goals to equalize this game. We'll be back for the second half. Your scoreline, once again, the South Florida Surf 2, Villages SC Buffalo 0. back to our broadcast of this Villages SC Buffaloes game this afternoon against the South Florida Surf, who enjoy a 2-0 lead here on the road. The Villages Polo Club. Here to start the second half. The Villages SC will come out the way that they walked off in the first half. No adjustments to start the second half for Coach Anderson da Silva. And as we learn of any adjustments, if they've been made by the South Florida Surf, we'll certainly make you aware of them, though I strongly doubt there would be many, if any, for a team that was up 2-0 after halftime. The Village is now moving from left to right, and William Pereira will knock it all the way back to Paulo Pita, who after halftime deems himself to be fit to come out and play. He just puts a right foot in that, gets it forward. Carlos Jr. and Bartoa resume their interactions for the day. Offsides was the call there as Carlos Jr. came from an offside position to try to win that ball back. Referee allowed an opportunity for advantage, but then called it back when none materialized. Ben Martinez, who was called into action early in the first half after starting goalkeeper Andres Ruiz was injured. Another offsides call. There we go. Now we're back in business. Ball touched forward by Yago Lopez. Now cuts in. Some pressure. Jason Wright offers up some pressure there to Paulo Pita. Archie Masson gets it back on the wing. Tries to play into Maciel. Can't reel that in, but it's only cleared as far as Masson once again. Masson, Carlos Vitor. Carlos Vitor now keeps the ball close. He's being defended. Has to turn back away. Now drops it into Maciel. Maciel able to hold it up, but just for a moment. Lucas Coutinho, foul from behind Paulo Vaz, who received a warning in the first half for an accumulation of fouls. That one there pushes him over the edge in the referee's eyes, and he gets himself a yellow card early here in the second half. Lucas Coutinho. Certainly one of the best players, better players from the South Florida Surf. Take a little time to get up. He looks like he's able to continue on, no problem at all. He and Paulo Vaz exchange pleasantries. And they'll get back to business. Rocky Watson, or excuse me, Mickey Watson. Nice kick there. Coutinho now, he and Vaz re-engage. Coutinho cuts it in. Collins inside to right. He and Carvalho, oh, right flicks through. Ethan Decker, the cool, calm finish. But again, defending inside the box. The defensive third, the major issue today for Villages SC. It results in a third goal here early in this second half. As Jason Wright was able to win that ball away, find Ethan Decker, who I have credited now with 2 goals on the day, the first and the third. Trey Collins, the architect of the second. Bartoa to Guzman. Collins. Now Pereira. Now the Village is in a very deep hole here. Carlos Jr. able to win that ball in front of Mickey Watson. Mickey Watson able to get it back just for a second. That ball goes out of play for a throw-in. Peter Fuller now. Looks like he's going to find Kamar Marriott. Listed as a defender. So they may change formations here now with a 3-goal lead. Extra goals, certainly not the order of the day any longer for the South Florida Surf. With a 3-goal lead, you can go ahead and pack it in a little bit and defend your 18-yard box with more players and attack with maybe 1 or 2 guys up top. I think we may see that from Coach Peter Fuller as he's gotten a 3rd goal early in this second half. That ball forward. Jason Wright can't control it. Carlos Vitor now. Vitor looks to turn. He's got Paulo Vaz streaking towards goal. Vaz able to take it. Now Vaz inside the box on the right foot. Give great credit there to Abraham Bartoa, who never gave up on that and able to work himself back and able to pull that ball right off the waiting right foot of Paulo Vaz, who was ready to take an attempt at goal from a dangerous area that you have to believe anything on frame probably would have been a goal to pull one back. Now Guzman coming off in exchange for Kamar Marriott. Coutinho. Coutinho, a little too many grabs of the shirt of Archie Masson. Paulo Pita. It's a right foot into it. 3 players surrounding Augusto Maciel. Paulo Vaz looks to win and flick that into the box. The only person there, though, Ben Martinez. Martinez decides to set it down and play long. Lopez only manages to head it out of play for a throw. Collins will defer. Callum Carsley. Cavalcanti. Now Marriott with his first touch, tries to find Wright. Back onto Decker, who's braced right now. Just 2 of the 3 goals that the South Florida Surf have scored in today's game. It's Carlos Vitor now, and Ben Martinez forced to his less favored left foot, but is still able to find Carsley. And they work forward. Great turn there by Trey Collins. Out wide now, Callum Carsley off the left foot, looks to bend it in, but Paulo Pita's there, and he's able to manage to keep both hands on that one there and keep the scoring opportunity down to just that cross. Pita lays it down now, and he'll play from the deck. Goes forward. Bartoa and Junior. It falls to Marriott. Marriott just spills that. William Pereira now for the Villages. Carlos Vitor inside to Junior, back onto Vitor. Maciel back onto Carlos Jr. Give credit. Mickey Watson able to win that ball before Carlos Jr. can get there. William Pereira now. Antonio Rodriguez was asking for it, but Pereira instead will play it in the box. Carsley with the header to just to the edge of the box, goes back in, now headed out. Pedro Gias. Pereira. Collision there. Bartoa gets enough ball for the official to be satisfied. That wasn't a foul. Instead, the Villages will have to settle to start all the way from the back here. Paulo Pizza. Bit of a skills check there. Marriott now on to Coutinho. Coutinho wants to play one touch through. Jason Wright on the move, but it's cut away. And now the Villages will play along for Carlos Jr. Instead, it falls to Carlos Vitor. Carlos Vitor now looks to go it alone, but Guinivar able to win that ball away. Now Marriott with his second straight turnover of the ball. Carlos Vitor. Pedro Gias. Gias into Vitor. He turns it over. Cavalcanti. Now the ball finds its way to the middle. Trey Collins. Trey Collins still working hard for it. But Archie Masson steps in, wins it away. Paulo Vaz. A little bit of room in front of him. Plays out here to the middle. Carlos Vitor to Junior to Vaz. Vaz's plan was to actually play that over the top to Antonio Rodriguez, but it caught Carlos Jr. on the way through. And possession has been turned over. Callum Carsley just place it into an open space. And right now with a 3-goal lead. Even that right now, not necessarily a bad play. Long switch there. Rodriguez can't control. Guinivar in the middle to Jason Wright. First touch into the box. Jason Wright. This ball. That was very fortunate. As Jason Wright loses control of that ball and it rolls beyond Yago Lopez's outstretched foot, Ethan Decker, who is sitting on a hat trick, just easily plays it in the goal, but he was standing in an offside position. That keeps the 4th goal off the board. To say that the back four have struggled today for the Villages SC would be a fair understatement. But at that moment, bailed out by, frankly, luck itself. Flick on there. Coutinho controls. Spins one more time, but Yago Lopez there to finally cut that away. Now the Villages turn, look to attack. Ball chipped over the top. Great ball under the foot of Carlos Jr. Carlos Jr. Abraham Bartoa, more than equal to that task. Gets it away. And is able to earn a throw-in for the South Florida Surf. Ball switched over to Callum Carsley, who leaves it off now for Coutinho in the middle of Marriott. Hasn't necessarily done a whole lot of good with the ball in his limited time here in the second half thus far. Cavalcanti. Now the ball way wide. Jorge Guinivar. And Martinez now will just play the ball forward. Lucas Coutinho in that vicinity, as is Archie Masson. A little race to that ball. Masson gets there and just gets it out of play. Ethan Decker, he's got 2 goals today and just had a 3rd one called out because of offsides. Coutinho, again the flick. sure he knew much about where that was going to end up, but that's just about every touch for South Florida today. It's all ended up roses. Ball goes out of play, and we're going to see a substitution. Antonio Rodriguez coming off in exchange for Kyle Nelson. Looks like they've changed the formation as well, as Archie Masson's going to push a little bit higher, and right now the Villages are going to play with 3 in the back. Iago Lopez will go to the right, Nelson to the middle, and Carvalho to the left. That ball played into the middle. Carlos Jr. dispossessed and goes down. No whistle there, and now the Villages must defend again. Now going to be doing it with 3 defenders in the back, as they have to push players forward to try to get on the board here. Coutinho, Kyle Nelson offers that tackle up. Coutinho gets back up, regains possession just for a moment, but now Iago Lopez gets it away. Jason Wright offers chase. That ball, Cavalcanti. And all the way back now to Ben Martinez. Guinevard. Again, back to Martinez. Coutinho goes down a little too easily there in the eyes of the official. Paulo Vaz over to Maciel. Maciel in a battle there with Mickey Watson. Ball in the box, cleared out, but off the face. Some friendly fire there. I believe that was Trey Collins that took that right off the side of the face. Referee wants to have a word with him. Carlos Jr. now checking out for the Villages SC. Federico de Oliveira coming in. Bartoa. That ball all the way forward. Jason Wright offers chase. Now the Villages. De Oliveira, his first opportunity here. Just outside the box, low. But a little too far to cause great concern to Ben Martinez in goal for South Florida. Again, Martinez will put it on the deck and play from there. And he'll just go long. Kyle Nelson, strong header there to Archie Masson, who again's pushed to a holding mid spot to offer more numbers forward for the Villages, who need players forward and needs goals. Pereira out wide. Carlos Vitor. Carlos Vitor to the end line with the right foot. Masson, who decided to go with the full side volley as opposed to just a header on frame there. High risk, high reward. Unfortunately, the risk didn't pay off. But the first real scoring opportunity of the second half now for the Villages SC. So players push forward, more opportunities created. Now they just need to see one hit the back of the net sooner rather than later if they're going to get back in this game. Ben Martinez. Big foot forward there. Pereira, his header. Trey Collins tries to play the ball through. On to Jason Wright. That ball comes up, finally catches the hand. Official finally blows the whistle for that. Iago Lopez, who's now moved to this right back position with 3 defenders set, 3 in the back. Pereira. Ball turned over there, but one back. Now Paulo Vaz lays over. Gias tries to lay it on Carlos Vitor. That shot off the head of Mickey Watson and goes out of play for a corner kick. But again, here in the last 3 minutes or so, a couple of opportunities for the Villages to potentially get on the board here. Down 3-0 at home. Crowd looking for a reason to get back in this game. Ball played into the box, headed up by Guinavar. Carvalho lays the ball back. Pereira again to the back. Just beyond Archie Massen's head, and it goes out of play for a South Florida Surf throw. Collins tries to head it forward, but nobody's there to receive it. Instead, possession turned over to the Villages. De Oliveira. Carlos Vitor. Archie Massen can't get beyond Marriott. And Marriott earning a throw now. Callum Carsley. Big throw there. Coutinho posts up. He keeps possession. Coutinho goes down a little too easily once again for the eyes of the official. De Oliveira, right-footed strike. That thing looked destined for the near post. Ben Martinez with a strong left hand, keeping that out of the bottom of the net. Pedro Gias, the right-footed corner kick here. Ball swing in, headed out of play. Lopez looks to switch long there, gets a little too far underneath it. Headed forward. Carlos Vitor flicks the ball long, gets it back. Now Vitor into the box. Maciel, De Oliveira back to Maciel. Maciel tries to shoot. It's knocked away. Now onto the foot of Coutinho. Will calmly play it wide. Jason Wright now around the midfield stripe. Back to Coutinho. Decides they just want to go ahead and keep it. But then they turn it over. Maciel waits for it. And Bartoa, who's been extremely strong at that center back position all day long, steps forward and wins it. Iago Lopez forced to play it just beyond the touchline. Ethan Decker was lurking. Carsley now with the throw. Decker tries to keep it at his feet, but can't. Pereira unable to keep the ball in play. Carsley again will throw. Now Kyle Nelson started from the back. Archie Masson. Masson to Oliveira. Will turn with the outside of his right foot. Sees Carvalho making a run forward. Now Paulo Vaz in an advanced position. Now in the attacking third, just inside the box. Inside the box on his right foot. Lays off to De Oliveira. De Oliveira splits two. Gets the ball over to Paulo Vaz. Paulo Vaz inside the box looking for an opportunity. Vaz turns back. Ball headed up. Still inside the box. Bartoa again, who's been a rock at that center back position for South Florida all night long. Able to clear it out of danger for the moment. Paulo Vaz now still on it. Guinevar, excuse me, steps in at that moment. Maciel. Gias. Carlos Vitor to Maciel. Maciel now forced to go backwards with it. Iago Lopez to Pereira. Masson. It's a good touch to the inside. That ball tries to lay that off. Marriott steps in front. Marriott just goes long here to Decker. Ethan Decker, who's got 2 goals today. Can't win that foot race. Kyle Nelson able to come from the middle of the pitch to win that ball away. So we've got a substitution coming on here. Looks like Trey Collins coming off. And Tristan Doran is going to come on. De Oliveira. Carvalho to Maciel. Lays it off to Masson. Masson sees Carlos Vitor making a long run across the pitch. Gives it to him. Vitor sees another run in return. De Oliveira can't keep control of it inside the box. Had that touch been under control and in front of him, would have definitely been a scoring opportunity. Carlos Vitor tries to get it back to Pereira. But instead, Tristan Doran gets to it first. But a throw-in nonetheless for Villages SC. De Oliveira over top of it now. Long switch there. Can't get beyond Guinevar. Gias over to Vaz. Vaz, he's got an overlapping Carvalho with him. The ball's played, I think, to Carvalho. Kind of in between Carvalho's overlapping run and the diagonal run of Maciel, and I think both guys thought it was for the other guy and frankly stopped on their runs. That effort goes for naught. Now Martinez, who hasn't been called upon often since coming in early in the first half as the backup goalkeeper for South Florida, but when he has been, he's been equal to the task. Big save here in the second half on a shot from De Oliveira that would have been destined for the lower corner of the goal. Jason Wright now inside the box. Again, some shoddy defending inside the back, the defensive third for the Villages. Kyle Nelson, who had done a good job of winning it there, is just giving it right back. Marriott now to Jason Wright. Jason Wright inside now with Coutinho. Coutinho into Wright. Wright tries to lay it back to Coutinho. Instead finds Pereira. De Oliveira looked to flick it on to Archie Masson, but instead it's South Florida again with it. That ball. Coutinho in the box. Gives a little shake. Then tries to turn in. Able to keep it right there. Just outside the boxes. Gets it to the end line. His left foot across the goal. And Doran, who has just checked in the game, was gift wrapped a header on the back post with really the goal wide open, and that ball hit the back of his head and went out of play. It looks like Coutinho is actually asking for a substitution here from the coaching staff. I don't know if that's fatigue. He's taken a couple of knocks, but as he was in their first matchup, looks to be the most dangerous player on the field, and certainly a guy that gets their engine going. wide. Now Doran looks to redeem himself. Gets the ball to Coutinho. Coutinho steps in. Just tries to shoot from 22 yards out instead. Now that ball played through to the corner. Paulo Vaz in a foot race with Kamar Marriott. Marriott wins the race, but gives up the corner. Diogo Pereira looks like he's ready to check in for the Villages SC. Carlos Vitor lays it off for Pedro Gias. Gias tries to get the ball to the back post, but it's too low in its delivery, and it's able to be headed away easily by the center backs of South Florida. De Oliveira now over the top of it. Leaves it off to Maciel. Dummy run. But Carlos Vitor was offsides as that ball was dummied through by Paulo Vaz. The flag goes up on this near side.
Near side referee indicates offside.
Looks like both teams looking to make a switch in the next opportunity. Lucas Da Silva is going to come on for up. As a matter of fact, may have been a change of plans by the coaching staff as Da Silva picks up his yellow penny and goes and sits back down. Instead, it looks like Troy Carrington may be the guy coming on. Da Silva may be coming on as well. He just looks like he forgot a piece of equipment, namely his shin guards. Paulo Vaz comes off, excuse me. Diogo Pereira. Carlos Vitor. He's got Archie Masson streaking down the right wing. Masson on one touch tries to swing the ball across. It takes the deflection off of Callum Carsley and into the waiting arms of Rodriguez, who tries to distribute all the way out to Ethan Decker, but De Oliveira is there. Now Masson to switch to play here to Pereira. Carvalho. Gias. Gias now sort of tackled there. And now the no call there may lead to a breakaway on this end here, as Jason Wright is there. Now offsides will be the call there, and the correct one, as Dorn was in an offside position as that ball squirted out towards him in the attack by Jason Wright. Speaking of Jason Wright, it looks like that's his last work of the evening, as Troy Carrington will check in for him. And Lucas Coutinho coming off as well. As Lucas Da Silva will check in. Carrington and Da Silva on. Coutinho and Wright coming off. Tristan Doran with it out wide. Gets a step on Carvalho. Da Silva gets his first touch on it. Can't do much with it. The Villages come this way. De Oliveira to the inside. Just beyond Masson. Poor touch there by Carrington. His first touch is a terrible one. Gives up what could have been a scoring opportunity. Calls a dangerous play, I believe, as Masson tried to play that ball while he was on the ground. Carrington can't keep that in play.
Buffalo with the throw in.
Kyle Nelson to De Oliveira. Good turn by him. With the ball. Not as good as the turn. Callum Carsley now. Carsley lays all the way back. Mickey Watson to Marriott now. Marriott. He and Pereira get into it. Now William Pereira. Carlos Vitor down by the end line. Dribbles it out of play.
Go, King, serve.
Kamar Marriott. Some of the South Florida Surf players upset about a call that wasn't given in their direction. They're certainly vocal about it. Carrington. William Pereira whistle for a foul here. And if we're being honest here, he got way more of that ball than the previous foul in which they were upset with. I think that might have been one of those calls there that, as we see in games, referees even up some calls. That one may be to appease the quite vocal coaching staff and players of South Florida. They were upset about a missed call just moments earlier. But a foul nonetheless. And South Florida just go ahead and get it restarted. Ethan Decker will play back to Mickey Watson. Bartoa. Martinez plays long. Carsley.
Buffalo, throw it.
Kyle Nelson switch there, hangs up in the air a little bit, but Carvalho able to get it forward to Diogo Pereira. Pereira just checking in here in the second half, held up by Jorge Guinivar. Referee was going to play some advantage had any materialized, but none did. William Pereira. Carlos Vitor now. Vitor, center of the field. Now to Pereira. Pereira with the left foot. I believe that took a deflection and will be a corner kick. Diogo Pereira looking to test the goalkeeper from distance. It never got to the frame, but instead goes out for a corner kick. That ball laid back to Iago Lopez. Iago Lopez, couple touches in. He's inside the box now. And there's a foul, and he's whistled. Iago Lopez, couple of touches in. Very rarely do you expect to see your center back making a marauding run into the box in that instance. The referee blows the whistle and awards a penalty kick, an opportunity here for the Villages SC to get on the board. Carlos Vitor standing at the penalty spot. Uziel Hernandez checking in for Marcial. Carlos Vitor at the penalty kick spot. Calmly just rolls that in for a goal there. 3-1 the score. So that goal may be inconsequential today, depending on how the last 6 minutes and added time shape up. You never know at the end of the season what goal differential could determine. Especially for a division that has been tightly contested, and is as tightly contested as it is right now in the Southeast Division. That goal could prove to make a difference at the end of the season, should things come down to it. So credit Villages SC after being down 3-0, not quitting, trying to get as many opportunities in the box as possible. They're rewarded by the efforts of Iago Lopez with the penalty kick, which was capitalized upon by Carlos Vitor. Now Pereira gets the ball forward to Diogo Pereira. Now in the middle, De Oliveira, whose first touch let him down, but he's able to recover and keep possession. Pereira. Diogo Pereira, who's unafraid to let loose from distance. Lost his balance and kind of ran up the back of Guinevart there. And the referee whistles him for the foul. So we may have a cramping situation in the middle of the pitch. Preston Kilwain, looks like he may come on in a moment. Cavalcanti is the guy that looked like he was cramping up a little bit there, and Preston Kilwain maybe checking in for him momentarily here. They serve two purposes. You got a player that may be cramping up, and then also at this point of the game, using up as much time, even in substitutions. It's a pretty good plan for a team that's up 3-1. De Oliveira wants to get it started early. Gias. Switch now. Cauê Carvalho. Inside Diogo Pereira. Diogo Pereira keeps it. Finds Carlos Vitor out wide. Carlos Vitor, he'll want to cut in on that right foot. Does so. He's got Masson out wide. If they play it to him, they finally do. Masson tries to cut back, and he's fouled. Not fouled, excuse me. He's hits the deck, but no whistle comes. Tristan Doran. Tristan Doran thrown in, and I believe that's De Silva there, was unmarked, and now he's got an opportunity to score. Give credit where Paulo Pita stands up to that, and he's able to keep it out of the goal. Troy Carrington offers up some pressure there, but instead it's the Villages SC that go the other way. Pereira to Diogo Pereira. Diogo with the right foot switches it. Pedro Gias now in the middle of the field. Middle of the field, Gias into Carlos Vitor. Carlos Vitor lays off to De Oliveira. De Oliveira trying to gain some ground here, but give credit. Jorge Guinevart able to win it and keep it in play off of the foot of Doran, though. Carlos Vitor flicks on to De Oliveira. De Oliveira into the middle. Uziel Hernandez now. Hernandez tries to get it out wide. Diogo Pereira. De Oliveira tries to play it through to Archie Masson, but it's cut out. Guinevart. Oh, the referee thought that was a sell job. And William Pereira, his long ball cut out. And now a breakaway opportunity, numbers up. De Silva tried to come back to stay onside just as the ball was played through to him. Archie Masson tries to head forward, but nobody there. Ethan Decker just smashes that ball out of play. Iago Lopez. Ball switched long to Carvalho. Carvalho now tries to advance. Carlos Vitor to Gias. Gias the long switch. Archie Masson keeps that on his foot, lays over to Vitor. Carlos Vitor tries to flick on, ends up with it on his right foot. Tries to chip it to the back post. Headed away for a moment. De Oliveira gets his hand. The ball came off the top of his arm. The referee is in a good position to call that. Seemed like it may have come just off the top of his bicep for the handball inside the box there. That moment goes for naught. Another substitution here. Looks like Callum Carsley, I believe, is the player that comes off, number 5 for South Florida Surf, Preston Kilwain. Comes on. Bartoa, who's been strong back there all day. Long switch. Decker. Kilwain gets his first touch of the day. Not a good one. De Oliveira springs Masson. Masson cuts back. Masson again. De Oliveira. Pereira. Back on De Oliveira. De Oliveira goes Meg. Pereira. Long switch to Diogo Pereira. He's got options. Decides to go inside. Carlos Vitor. Carlos Vitor. Now at the inside the box. Pedro Gias. Kept away by Guinevere. Forced to go backwards now. Carlos Vitor just goes ahead and throws it forward in the box. It's headed away just for a moment. Preston Kilwain gets ahead on it. Now it comes out. Iago Lopez, the author of the first run that earned the penalty kick, will try to do it again to some fresh legs. Lays off to De Oliveira, who tries to turn, and he's hammered. Mickey Watson standing over top. Don't know if the yellow is for the foul itself or for the taunting by standing over the top of him, just eyeballing him, but it is a free kick for Villages SC. William Pereira and his left foot. Probably a situation here where the ball's going to be played low, whipped in swinging ball. Sort of catch the goalkeeper frozen if you can. Get an on-running attacker to get ahead on it. And poke it towards the frame. Pereira. There's that low whip ball. Referee checks his watch. Gias flicks on. And those 3 whistles there are going to end this game. A game in which the South Florida Surf took advantage of opportunities early and often. Both in the first half and then early in the second half. Got out to a 3-0 lead. The Villages SC only able to pull one back on a penalty kick by Carlos Vitor in the second half. Your final score from the Villages Polo Club. The visiting South Florida Surf 3, Villages SC 1. We'll be back Saturday for the next broadcast right here on thevillagesSC.com.